Hey guys, and welcome to my channel. In today's episode, we're going to be doing one of my favorite French dessert recipes, which is called Madeleine. And I really love the Madeleine because they are kind of like a sponge cake, but they are a fun-sized, finger-sized sponge cake with a hump on the top, and it's a really simple recipe to do. It only requires a couple of ingredients, a couple of minutes, maybe 20-30 minutes of preparation, and another 9 to 12 minutes in the oven, and they are ready to be eaten. And as I said, I am a cook. I love cooking, but I'm also kind of lazy sometimes, so when there's desserts that can be made super fast, I always go towards these recipes. So now that we know what Madeleine are, what are the ingredients needed? Well, we're gonna need half a cup of butter, 3/4 cups of all-purpose flour, a 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder, 2 room temperature eggs, a half a cup of granulated sugar, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, and 1 teaspoon of lemon zest. Now that we know all the ingredients, let's start cooking. The first thing we need to do is take a bowl, then take a small strainer and pour 3/4 cups of all-purpose flour. In order to help the madeleines grow while baking, take a teaspoon and add a 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder, then shake the strainer slightly to get all the flour and baking powder into the bowl. Once that is done, take a whisk and mix the dry ingredients slightly. Now that we've whisked all the initial ingredients, well, we can put this bowl on the side. And then the next step is to take some butter, half a cup of butter exactly. And what we're going to do with this butter is we're going to have to melt it. So either you can melt it in the microwave, it takes about 30 seconds in the microwave, or the preferred method is to maybe do it on a stove and to let it melt with regular heat. And you want to try to melt it but not burn it. So just do keep an eye on your stove when you are doing this, because while the butter is melting, we're going to be doing other steps of this recipe. But yeah, let's start with the butter. For the butter, I like to use unsalted room temperature butter. Cut a half a cup of butter and then set one of the burners on medium heat. Once that is done, take a pan and place the butter in it. This process is actually pretty quick, so be sure to keep an eye on it so that it doesn't burn. Once it's melted thoroughly, take it off the stove to let it cool down. While the butter is cooling down, take a bowl and add 2 whole eggs in it. Some recipes require separating the egg white and the eggnog, but for madeleines we want to keep the richness of a full egg. Once that is done, add half a cup of granulated sugar followed by 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract and then 1 teaspoon of lemon zest. In order to create some lemon zest, I like to use a full lemon and a grater to extract a little bit of the skin of the lemon in order to add a slightly tangy taste to the mix. Now that all of the ingredients are in the bowl, the next step is to blend all of these ingredients, and we're going to blend them for 8 minutes. Yes, you heard me, 8 minutes. The reason that we're doing that is because the batter needs to be light and fluffy and have a lot of air bubbles, and the only way to do it is to actually blend it for 8 minutes. So yeah. While using the blender, it's important to keep moving the blender through the batter. By doing so, you're making sure to hit every spot of the batter and getting the mix to become light and fluffy. You will know when the mix is fully blended once it starts slowly changing to a lighter color and the mix feels extremely light. Once fully mixed, take the bowl with the dry ingredients and pour them in with the newly blended ingredients. Then take a wooden spoon and gently fold the ingredients together. It's important to be gentle while doing this final mix, as stirring the wooden spoon too hard may take away all the air pockets that were created with the electric blender. Now that all of the ingredients are in the bowl and they're nicely blended, the next step is to take some plastic wrap and to put it over the bowl. And once that's done, well, we're going to put it in the fridge for at least 1 hour. Once again, it's important because, well, we need those bubbles that we did create to actually contract, and that is the magic of how it's going to actually start to rise once it's in the oven. While the madeleine mix is cooling in the fridge, take a madeleine-shaped baking pan and use a butter brush to spread butter on the pan. Each madeleine shape should be nicely buttered, as this will ensure that the batter won't stick to the pan while baking. Before placing the batter on the baking pan, set the oven to 375 degrees and let it preheat. Now that that is done, take a tablespoon and scoop up the batter in order to fill up all the madeleine-shaped grooves in the baking pan. Through cooking these a bunch of times, I found that 1 tablespoon amounts to the perfect amount in order to fill the madeleine-shaped grooves and create the perfect madeleine. Once the oven has reached 375 degrees, place the tray in the oven for 9 to 12 minutes. Do keep an eye on it, as some ovens might even bake the Madeleines in 8 minutes. Here we go. Didn't these Madeleines come out so darn beautiful? Well, I think they're awesome. And yeah, as you can tell, this is a super easy recipe. It only takes a couple of ingredients. And yeah, the mixing of 8 minutes is probably the hardest part. But as you did see, it only takes a couple of minutes in the oven and they are done. They're ready to be served and eaten. So yeah, I really hope that you guys enjoyed watching me make these Madeleines. And if you did enjoy it, please be sure to subscribe, hit the like button, leave me a comment too. Let me know if there's other recipes that you'd like me to do. Maybe I might actually do a video with the recipe that you're asking for. With that being said, have a great day and I'll see you guys in the next video.